Hello everyone, Andy Schwab here with your Northern Ag TV. Wyoming Farm Bureau Federation has been busy holding their annual county meetings over the past several weeks. I had the honor to join Park County Farm Bureau Federation in my hometown of Powell last week to present a cattle market update to the group of nearly 50 producers and catch up with some of the Wyoming Farm Bureau Federation staff, including Brett Moline, Policy Director. Moline mentioned to me that it's always important for those members to attend the annual meetings because that's how the grassroots policy is developed.
The policy that my members develop determines what stance we take on an issue. So when it's an important issue and we need to have a position, us at the state office don't say what stance we're taking. It depends on our members. So come to your county meetings, get this policy started. It'll go to a district meeting, then go to the state. If it passes all of those, it goes in our books. And that's what determines what stance we take. Tonight, for an example, a policy on how can we keep agricultural land in production ag. Well, maybe if we change some of the tax laws, maybe cut the capital gains rates, they can sell it for a lower price and still come out with the same net income. So these older ag operators will be able to retire. Maybe that's a tool that we'll use.
Now, in addition to the staff being busy with the County Farm Bureau meetings, the policy team has been keeping in touch with legislatures during the interim meetings to make sure producers are being represented. One of the topics Moline has been advocating for on behalf of landowners is capitalizing on getting full use of wildlife landowner tags.
One of the issues we've been working on is long-standing policy that my members have. We think that landowners should be able to get landowner licenses and make them transferable. Should be able to give them to whoever they want. Current rules are it has to be a family member. They can't even give it to a hired hand. It has to be a family member. We would like our landowners to be able to capitalize on having that asset of wildlife. Other states have done it and it has worked absolutely beautifully. There's a lot of groups that are pushing back. Until my members tell me different, we'll continue fighting for it.
And of course, water is always a conversation in Wyoming. Moline said they're making sure that the expanding housing complexes do not overtake water rights from producers.
We talk about subdividing land. Well, sometimes the irrigation district doesn't know. And so all of a sudden a house goes in where it used to be a field. They need to be able to plan, how are they going to manage the water? The landowner, the homeowner needs to know, hey, this is the deal with water. Just because it's running by doesn't mean you get to use it. If you don't have a right to it, you don't get to use it. But then the irrigation districts need to know about it. So how do they need to change their infrastructure?
Now, staying on the water topic, Moline says they're standing strong for Wyoming in the water fight that's been around forever regarding the Colorado River Basin.
It's kind of ironic that was the very first compact written in the United States. They used long-term data on how much water they had. We've never approached that level of water again. So kind of pits the upper basin states against the lower basin. Of course, Wyoming's in the upper. We'll be working on that issue, what's going on. There's some talk about maybe being able to do some voluntary conservation, some non-use of water. But in order for that to not count against losing your water, about abandonment, we'll have to tweak some of the state laws. So we'll keep working on that issue. My members, great stewards of the land, use their water correctly. We want them to be able to keep doing that because then that feeds into other things. Wildlife habitat, keeping ag in ag instead of being houses. So it's the circle of life in Wyoming.
Now, there are a couple more of those county and district meetings left to shape the policy that ultimately gets sent to the annual state convention for final decision. That state meeting, of course, themed Saddles to Solution, will take place in Gillette November 13th through the 15th, and we'll be there for it. Well, that is going to wrap us up on today's Northern Ag TV. I'm Andy Schwab. Have a great rest of your day.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.